Now, as a side note, when I was working in this area yesterday, look at what I found. And let me zoom in a little bit here. Yep, this is my V-belt or accessory belt or Serpentine belt, different names for it. And it's hanging by a thread. There's almost nothing left. It's supposed to be the entire width of this pulley, right? And there's just one little piece left. So I cannot believe that this hasn't broken off. But now that the wheel will have to come off, actually. It's going to be easier to do. But this is one thing I absolutely need to take a look at, and I'm going to go get the belt today. Replace this, and I'll be back and running hopefully in no time. Like, this doesn't take too long apparently. I will walk you through this process as well. That's going to be a separate video, but totally accidental that I just popped the hood and realized that my accessory belt was about to basically die. So the good thing is that the water pump on this engine is powered by the DC chain, to my knowledge. So this belt is only for your AC compressor and for the alternator. Still a problem because you're going to run out of battery pretty quick, but certainly not as bad as your motor overheating and all the great stuff that can happen from that point. So I'm going to look into this. That's going to be a separate video. So working on the Serpentine belt, I just took it out. It's a very easy process, and for a couple of reasons. Number one, the wheel well liner is out, right? So I can really access everything in the back. And if you look here, you'll see that on this end, once the wheel liner, the wheel well liner is removed, you have access to basically the entire area. You'll need to remove the skid plate, perhaps, although it might not be required. In my case, I don't have any, so it was pretty easy. There's a little bit of space behind the crank pulley here to squeeze the belt, or in my case, what's left of it, really, and I'll show you. But if you wanted to get more space, funny enough, I just realized something here. Take a look at this. See, that's part of my belt right there. So I'm just gonna take this out because I want this as a reference. Yeah, this got wrapped around the screw. Yeah, there we are. Got so lucky here. See, this is a Torx again. This is your turbo boost pipe. You have two screws here that you can easily loosen up or remove altogether, and that will allow you to spread the pipe apart from the bracket that it's mounted on and from the crank pulley, and that will give you more space to work with. So as I was saying, to remove the belt from here, let me show you what the belt looks like. It's just crazy. I can't believe how lucky I got. This is the piece that was wrapped around the boost pipe at the bottom, and this is what was left of my accessory belt. Can't even zoom on it, it's so thin. Try to get this, yeah, I can't really zoom on it. Oh, there we are. So it was on its last threads. I got really lucky here. Can't believe I noticed that by accident, really. Which is a good reminder to pop the hood once in a while, take a quick look, see if you don't have any major leaks or anything that would be easy to identify visually. So in this particular instance here, we have our alternator, we have the AC compressor at the bottom. Not a bad idea to check whether everything is loose and spinning right, because if the belt went, there could be a reason for that, right? If you have too much stress on one of these components, or if it's starting to seize, or if anything is happening, it's going to put more pressure on the belt, and the belt will ultimately stretch and could snap or get damaged. So I got my roller here at the bottom, and this is free. There's no play in it, which is really good news. And this actually is mounted on a big spring. So in order to loosen this, you would use a 17 mil bit and ideally a breaker bar, just like this one. And I'm just gonna connect this down there, and you go clockwise. And as you go clockwise, you see this moves, right? So there is actually an additional step that I could have taken that I might take when I put the new belt back on. There's a little hole right here right there. And see, there's like a little flange and there's a hole in the middle. As you pull on this, it's not a bad idea to have a little, either a special tool, which is really unnecessary, or an Allen key, a small one, that you're gonna just squeeze in this little hole, and that will ensure this is gonna lock the tensioner in the loose position, right? So the hole is through, right? And as you put something in it, it's gonna basically lock the tensioner in place. That's gonna make things a lot easier when you put the new belt back on, right? And again, so 17mm breaker bar is probably the easiest way to do it. If I look a little bit further down here, you'll see that there's really isn't a ton of space between the crank pulley and the boost pipe, right? So that could become a bit of an issue, especially as the new belt is significantly thicker than this one, obviously, or larger, I should say, wider than what's left of mine. I might actually have to loosen these two bolts I was mentioning about in order to get more space to work in. So I'm gonna go get a new belt. It's pretty easy on this vehicle, quite frankly, because some accessory belts are a lot more complex and convoluted than this one. Here we only have 3 components mainly, so the crank pulley, the AC compressor, and the alternator, and that's all we have, right? So it's pretty easy to replace. Should be a 15-minute job really if everything goes well, maybe a little more if you count the time to remove the trim and the different pieces to access the space and work in better conditions. But it's actually not that complicated. So I'm just gonna get a new belt and I'll continue the video once I have it in hand. Okay, so we're about to put the belt back on the well, where it belongs really. So I want to release now the tensioner, and I have my 17mm bit that's on my breaker bar. I have this little drill bit here that I'm going to use to lock the tensioner in place. As I explained, there's a spot for this, which you will see, might not be easy to see actually here, but it's right on top. So you'll see actually when I twist it. So you twist counterclockwise. I know it sounds a little bit counterintuitive, and you'll see at the very top, right behind this thing that's blocking the view, there's a little shoulder, and you can put a bit here that's gonna hold your tensioner in place. All right, so I got my new belt here. This is a Continental belt. That's the part number. This is a bit of a, it fits for multiple models. It is V-grooved, as you can tell, right? And that's going to go right on top here, along with the pulley at the bottom and the pulley at the back as well. So I'm going to squeeze it in here, starting from the bottom and around the boost pipe. There is enough space to squeeze it flat, although as I mentioned previously, there are a couple of screws that you can remove as well that will probably make this process a little bit easier, but in theory it's not really needed. There we go, so it's right past now. There we are. So that was pretty easy. Now I'm going to run it around the AC compressor. There, you probably can't quite see what I'm doing, but you can see the belt is just starting to show right there. Then it goes on top of the alternator. Everything fits great. And then at this point, now that the belt is basically in its final position, I will make sure that it stays on top of the crankshaft pulley, because that could go off very easily. There you go, make sure it's in the grooves. Then I'm gonna actually run it around the tensioner, and then I will adjust the tension, and at this point I should be able to run it right over the alternator. That's the plan. Let's see how that goes. So it needs to go further. So I have an idea here, because I can't really go any further on this end. gonna try to lock it in place with the screwdriver on the little shoulder here. Yeah, that seems to hold. And adjust it back to get, there you go, to get more space at this point. Should be able to put it on. And it's still tight. Okay, I'm definitely getting more clearance now. And it's just about to get on the pulley. There we are. Okay. Alright, so the belt is in place. Tensioner is in place as well. Everything looks good. I know it was probably not really clear what I was doing, but I was trying to actually really put pressure on the tensioner so that I could get enough room to run the belt. So this guy here, the tensioner, is was fighting me back because it's obviously spring loaded. So, and yeah, it was causing me trouble. It wouldn't clear far enough, and I don't have a lot of clearance in this area to work with. So possibly from the side of the vehicle would have been easier with the super long extension, which since the trim was removed around the wheel, that probably would have worked pretty well. And otherwise you just need to be a little creative. And what I was telling you is this little shoulder right here, that is a hole where normally you would then insert a little tool, and as you release the tensioner, really release the pressure on it, to have clearance to run the belt, you can put your little bit or Allen wrench. I'm going to put it in place so you can see something there that actually helps keeping it in place, right? So because when you apply tension to release the belt on the tensioner, at some point you will be able to run this little bit or whatever tool you have through, and it's going to lock the tensioner in place, which allows you to install the belt much more easily. That's when you have everything and all the tools and everything, right? In this case I was trying to be a little creative in order to put this in, and naturally I had some issues. So I hope this video is going to help you in case you are planning to do this. Really not that complicated. It really took me about 10 minutes, so definitely doable. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'm going to start the car now, and I think everything should be okay. I hope this was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye guys.